My work deals with the social and the political. My work deals with history, and I also try to create a platform where we can discuss, we have a dialogue about the different conversations about the human condition.
I see your art involves a lot of things, thin pictures, text, newspaper stuff, numbers, photographs. Why is that part of your work?
The different materials is a form that when I started, I used it as a form of protest.
Okay.
It's also a form to get different views together into one painting. It's also about recycling. A great part of my life was taken up by a system that denied me my humanity. In order to work on my own lack of humanity, I decided to do art, because art gives me a much safer space to express myself. It started off where I was denied to be recognized as a real artist, because that was forbidden for people of color to become part of the real art scene. And then despite that, I still had the talent to create art. But then I joined an organization that fought against the apartheid system. So we used art as a method in order to conscientize the world about what is going on in the country. And then I used the photographs, because there's nothing more true than a photograph. Why I say that? Because I can paint something that and people can say that's a lie. But if I produce a photograph, it's more reliable. So I use all those things in my work in order to bring over what I want to say with my work. So that part was called the resistance against the apartheid system. And later on, I found out that some of these found objects got a memory of itself. There's a lot of history etched into these found objects. So I worked without putting too much destruction in producing a piece, not to get rid of too much of that history. So with the paint, I compete with that little history just to bring it out as an art piece.
Would you describe your work as true art, and why would you say that?
I'm an international artist. I'm well known all over the world, and there's no doubt that somebody would just for fun see my work as art and not recognize me for that. I won lots of prizes all over the world. I've traveled almost all over the world. I don't know what more is convincing. The best work is when I have a conversation with myself. I grew up in a country where there's little respect for different views. And sometimes it can be quite harmful to differ with somebody, because people are not encouraged to have different views, or they don't respect different views. So despite that, I've got my own views, and the only way that I can deal with it in a safe space is with myself. And whenever I do a work that is related to some political or historical incident, then I do the conversation by myself.
So, just talking about the Chris Hani work, how did that come about, and what were you trying to do there?
At that point, we were very excited. The country was changing, and I then made a series of work about the people who played a major role in transforming the country, or to brought down the apartheid system. So I was giving homage to a lot of leaders. So Steve Biko is included, Matthew Guniwe, a lot of during the commemoration of the leaders of this country. I also give homage to the Khoi, our Khoi background. So that's also very important.
Okay, now, which work speaks about that, or was that embedded in all your work?
I made a sculpture which is now banned. It's funny. We are supposed to be in a country where we have freedom to express ourselves. I think I'm one of a very few artists that are banned in this country. I did a sculpture of Sarah Baartman, which were on the campus of the UCT. And then they decided to ban it and also censor me from having a conversation with them about my right to express myself. So you look at a banned person in a New South Africa.
So what was then in that sculpture that is so offensive?
There's basically nothing offensive. It was just, it got caught up in the so-called Free Must Fall from 2015. And at that point, the sculpture was already in the collection for about 10 or 12 years. And students enjoyed to have a conversation with me. Each batch of students that came through every year. So they were, because the whole idea was to create a space where students can interact with artists and with the artworks. But the unfortunate thing about 2015 with the Fees Must Fall thing, the art became a scapegoat for not getting the joy with the issues of the students with the university. So that we got caught up between the students and the university, and the art was banned.
So where is the art piece now?
It's boxed up.
And can you talk to me about what was it like? What was it, a sculpture of Sarah, or what was it?
It's a sculpture of Sarah Baartman in the traditional way of doing it. There was nothing wrong with it. I brought an example of Sarah Baartman, and the students just felt offended. This batch of students, after I had a conversation for 12 years, then before the Fees Must Fall. So they decided they had enough. The sculpture is offensive.